some, that were like one like 11-year-old song that might work for this project, but never worked in any of my other projects. So it's just kind of going through and seeing what fits with the style that we're going for in this current project. Because also there were a lot of songs that Simon had started on for Mouth of Ghosts,
Right.
and just didn't quite fit either the singer style or the project that they were going for at the time, but they fit Fluent in Grey just great. So we're taking those as well, and considering those. So I do think that we'll just continue to go through our catalogs, but also I'm constantly writing. I mean, I'm just I'm always going up to my piano and just tinkering around and coming up with little ideas and stuff like that. I'll never stop doing that. And so if anything great comes out of that, then I'll probably bring it to Simon right away, and we'll work on it. But yeah, and I do I have high hopes for collaborating with Simon and I in songwriting in general as well in the future. But I think we just wanted to get this together so quickly that to go through our own respective catalogs was the easiest.
I know you seem to be keeping one step ahead of me because I was just about to ask if you play the instruments, and you just answered that for me, so it's fantastic.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, this is perfect. So, but the next thing I was going to get to is, since we talked about your catalogs, a lot of musicians will say that, musicians/artists will say that a lot of songs are never really finished. So I would think it'd be kind of exciting that, like you say, like an 11-year-old song, now it's finally coming to light, and now it's gonna look so much better. I mean, that's got to be kind of exciting that something that's written so long ago, but now it's just like, wow, this sounds like amazing.
Oh yeah, very much so. Because there's some songs that never got production to them. They've just been me solo, and I've either played them live or just had some simple demo recording I did like years ago. And to hear Simon's interpretation of them now, bringing them to life, yeah, it is really amazing. You hit it on the head. It's really great, and I just love that feeling of hearing the production to it for the first time. And it's funny, this one song, I'm not sure whether or not we'll use it, but I do think it has some potential for the project. But it was one of the first songs I ever wrote. I think it was the second song I ever wrote, and it's 11 years old, and it's so great that I'm able to finally use it and like bring it to life in this project. So Simon's actually working on it this week, so we'll see what comes of it as well.
Right on, nice. I was gonna say too is just on that alone, just to jump back just for a moment here, when you're talking about, it's nice to kind of hear an outside perspective of what people think of the songwriting, because in many cases, because you and Simon the band, or you're hearing the song one way, and obviously in the end you're going to kind of make the way you want it to sound and how you want it to pretty much be presented. But the outside opinion can always help, because you never know when they're going to say, well, maybe if you change, let's say, a drum beat here, or let's say drop a few octaves on the vocals, and maybe throw an extra, let's say, another, like I say, a second bridge to the song, or an extra couple riffs in there somewhere, because it just it's one of those things sometimes, because I never really thought about it. It's always one of those things that always you hear the cliche. It's always good to have a second set of eyes. And in many cases it rings true.
Yeah, I completely agree, and we definitely welcome a lot, any outside, advice about the tracks and stuff too. And again, just working with outside producers, I find really enjoying it. I enjoy it a lot. So, and it's great too, just working with Simon and hearing his thoughts, and then also Phil and Marco chime in on the production at times as well. And so it's really great to hear their input as well, and we end up coming up with things that and it comes to mind too, I should say. One of the songs I had brought to the table was this really Simon and Phil, what did they call it? They called it a bunch of doves singing. It was a very beautiful track, and but very, very soft and airy. And Simon produced it up, and he was like, "Okay, give it a chance." When he sent it to me, and it was like this. Like, the chorus was made into this, like, death metal version. It was hilarious. And, I mean, he was, like, half serious, half joking. But I was, like, I couldn't believe it, because I'd been sitting on this song, this sweet little innocent song, for so long. And then hearing it got into this, like, death metal, heavy drums and, like, crazy bass. And it was really fun. But actually, it ended up opening the door to a completely different interpretation of the track. So we kind of met in the middle, where there's still a little bit of doves in the song, but there's also a lot of rocking out in it now as well that I never, ever would have thought of. So that was really fun to hear. It was a little disturbing when I first listened.
I could only imagine, because I can think of like some, like, we'll call it softer tunes. I could only imagine that they were kind of turned into a bit of a heavier thing. Is like, I don't think I could picture it, but then
yeah.
But either way, that's still really cool, because I mean, there are sometimes, obviously, there's stuff you can see on YouTube. They like made it online, so they kind of redid a song, and then they put like a different overlay onto it. But it's more as a funnier aspect of things, as opposed to serious and make it sound good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a quick little break here, and we're gonna listen to your debut song. The song is called "Losses" by Fluent In Grey. Dig this.
City falls into its knees, my ground dissolving where it plays. The roots go in and take its place. The mountains rise into embrace. Lost in this unfamiliar home, lost in the land I call my own. Hunting my home, facing it all. Remember all the better days, passing us by in the golden haze. When did the changing colors fall? When did I lose it all? And now I'm where my story ends, and now I'm lost without a friend. Hunting my home, facing it all. Waiting for the earth to move.
right. That was Lost by Fluent In Grey, their debut song. Now, this one, obviously, no, it's the only tune, Anna, but the vocals and this one were just fantastic. Like I told you at the bat, I really do like your vocals.
Oh, thank you.
And the way this one flowed was just nice. It had the mellow, but kind of had that edgy kind of, say, dream pop slash kind of almost like kind of dark feel to it.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah.
Which provides.
Definitely.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. Go.
I was gonna say, just it provides. It's a good mix because there are a lot of bands. Obviously, they're a mix of different genres because of influences and that sort of thing. But it's not always as easy to put, we'll call it two opposite ends of the spectrum together and make it sound good. And that can be a huge challenge sometimes. And the fact that you guys have pretty much nailed on the head is a feat all in itself.
Wow, thank you. That's really nice of you to say. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what we're trying to do. And like I had mentioned before, it was I'm kind of bringing the soft and melodic parts to the song. And then Simon bringing the more edgy, darker part. It tends to fit really well together for our style, and I'm really happy with that because we weren't sure when we first started this up, if it would all work, but it just came together so easily and so nicely, and we're just so happy with how Lost turned out and kind of brought that to light.
And I'll tell you one thing right at the hop. I've been a huge music fan for years, but I'm very, very picky on what I listen to. So it's just a generalized thing because for me, like I like to kind of take the song apart, but get it from all sides. As far as like lyrics, music, and just the not somewhat production, but just the way it kind of just falls and puts together because. It's just one of those things that I've always been like. I mean, at first, when you first kind of start going up listening to music, obviously everybody forms their own, I like this genre, I like this genre, and then after a while, kind of expanding your horizons, and you pick up different ones, but you like them for a certain reason, different reasons. But at the same time, too, is just because it's maybe the genre you like doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good tune or it's going to go well. And I like to hear how bands put together some of the stuff because it's always interesting to me to think. What were they thinking? What was the thought process behind putting the song together when they initially did? Like, how did they come up with the idea of saying, this is a great part. We'll start off slow with mellow vocals, and then vocals will pick up, but the melody will kind of still sing the same, and then the bridge almost completely changes the rounds. You go from almost complete 360, and then all of a sudden it's like boom. The song just pops out even more.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's a huge compliment for me to say. Thank you. But yeah, it's just. I guess when we were working on it, it was just about trying to make it as dynamic as possible, and kind of bringing out, the lyrics and the words as well, within the music, and because it was, it is an important song to me too that I wrote. So, I'm really happy with how the production kind of flows with and accents the lyrics as well, or I feel like it kind of does that at least. So I was really happy with how that turned out.
So Anna, with your songwriting in general, are a lot of songs pretty much kind of near and dear to you, or are some of them kind of you just start writing lyrics down and it kind of sounded good? So what? We're gonna go with this one because it may not necessarily be kind of based off something I've experienced or what have you, or past friends, that sort of thing. But I know it just sounds really good. Have you ever had a song that just kind of just pops out, saying, this is gonna go very well, and just the lyrics just kind of came flowing out?
Yeah, I actually it's kind of a mix of what you said. So some songs